guys, today I'm going to be talking about how to use tape and extensions in order to fill in gaps in fine hair. I'm going to show you step by step on my own hair in my own bob how I fill in the holes in my fine hair in order to give the illusion that I have much denser hair and a much stronger baseline. If that sounds good to you, then keep on watching. So what are tape and extensions? Tape in hair extensions are 1 inch wide pre-taped hair wefts that get taped in between your own hair in sandwich-like bonds. Why do you need them? So the obvious answer is you need them for length. If you have short hair and you want to have long hair, you can get a full head of tape and hair extensions put in and you can give yourself the illusion that you have really long hair. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about how we can fill in holes in fine hair using tape and extensions, not for length but for density, which is something that I know a lot of you guys struggle with and something that I definitely struggle with. So the first thing you have to do obviously is buy some hair extensions. There are a lot of different brands that sell tape and hair extensions that a consumer can buy. You don't have to buy it in salon with a stylist. You can buy it on consumer level. There's Bombay, there's Glam Seamless. You can even buy tape and hair extensions on Amazon. You can buy them on AliExpress if you want to take a little bit of a gamble, but you know, it's worth a shot. There are lots and lots of brands, and what you decide to get is totally up to you. If you guys want me to make a video on extension brands and what I think about them, leave it in the comment section because I definitely will. The first step is to start by parting where you typically part your hair, and that's because the placement of the extensions is going to depend a lot on that. If you part way over, you don't want to do a middle part while you're placing extensions because then when you flip it, it's not going to sit properly. So it's kind of common sense, but I just had to say it because I know there's going to be someone out there that's going to do it and it's going to be annoyed. Now this side is the side that is bothering me the most because I find there's a huge gap right here. So I'm going to place my extensions in a way that's going to fill that in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to section out my hair. So this is what I'm going to do for color. The baseline of my hair, the underlayer of my hair is really dark. All of this is really dark, but the top of my hair has some balayage in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2 at the bottom of my sandwich and a 6 at the top of my sandwich. If you see, this is a very dark brown, this is a very light brown. I am doing the bottom dark because the bottom of my hair is darker than the top. So I want, when my hair lays over it, for it to lay on top of the light side. If I reversed it this way, when my hair sits on top of it, it's going to look like a very dark shadow. It's going to blend much better if it's this way. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that tape and you are just going to peel it off. Now, this is where things can get a little bit tricky and this is where damage can happen. Now, you're gonna want to match the density of your hair with the density of the weft. So you're going to want the same amount of your hair in the weft as the weft itself. If you have too little hair, if your slices are too thin, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be more weight on the weft than on your head, and the follicles are going to be strained. When the follicles are strained, they have the potential to fall out and you'll end up with a bald patch. I know that sounds really scary, but you just have to remember to not use too little hair because if you use too little, it's too heavy. You also can't use too much hair because if you use too much hair, it won't stay. So you need to kind of play around and figure out the exact amount of hair that goes in every sandwich. Another thing to think about is you want to stay about 1 inch away from your hairline. You don't want to go right up to the hairline or you will see your wefts. So you're going to want to move back a little. This is all kind of framing hair that you can't really add into the weft. And then grab the hair from this area. So that looks to be a good amount of hair. So I'm going to put my sandwich right on the bottom and I'm gonna lay my hair flat on it. Okay, so now I'm just pushing the hair down. Now I'm gonna grab my lighter color, take that tape off, and I'm gonna sandwich it directly on top of that so it lines up perfectly. And then I just firmly press it together. Now let's just grab that hair and straighten it out. Now I find that some hairdressers like to do this whole area first and then they go in and cut it. I actually like to cut as I go because I can see exactly what's missing when the length is the perfect length. So I can take a look as I'm moving up and see what's missing and where there are holes that need to be filled in. if I have the actual length. If I don't have the length, it can get confusing. Things can seem filled in, but they're not, or you overfill and you don't need to. So you really do want it to be natural, just to fill in those holes, and that's it. So I'm just gonna grab my hair with my 2 fingers, push it, make sure that I'm lining up exactly where I want it to be, and then I trim it. Now, the one thing that's gonna give extensions away is when it becomes too dense at the bottom. If you are doing this, you likely have fine hair, so you want to kind of match the density of the extensions with your hair so that you don't end up with this strong line compared to the rest of your hair and then have it look fake. The way that you break that up is just by grabbing the hair, grabbing your scissors, and point cutting into the hair vertically. If you point cut into the hair vertically, you're going to shatter the ends and you're going to make it look significantly more natural. Probably should have put a cape on so I'm not super hairy, but whatever. Okay, so you can already notice a huge difference just by using one weft. So now I'm going to release my hair and see where we're at and see if there's anything else I need to do. So I can see again now here that there is a missing section here. So there is a hole right here in my hair. So I need to find where that hole is. So I'm just gonna track up my head, and I believe it's right in here. So again, I'm grabbing my darker weft. I'm gonna use it on the bottom of the sandwich, and then I'm gonna grab my lighter weft and put it on the top of the sandwich. So the cool thing about tape-ins is that they lay really flat to the head. They're not like a bonded extension, like a fusion, or even like a bead. So it sits really flat and it's very comfortable and pretty undetectable even on fine hair. Now we're gonna grab that, we're going to push it down. I'm gonna see my baseline here and I'm gonna cut to match the length of the baseline. Okay, now you can see here that this is too dense, right? This looks fake because it's so dense. So we're gonna grab that extension. I like to kind of lift it away from the rest of my hair so that I don't thin out my own hair. I don't need to thin my hair out any more than it already is. And then I just point cut into it, making sure that your scissors are vertical. Do not go horizontal or you will cut to length. Just go vertical and take some of the weight out of that extension at the bottom. Okay, so that looks really good now here. We have totally filled in all of the holes here. The only thing I'm noticing is that I have quite a large hole here, but we can't go too close to my face. So let's see if we can find a way to fill that in. So we almost need to add a weft up here, leaving enough hair at the top so that it covers the weft. If you don't have a lot of hair on the top of your head, be careful not adding your extensions up too high because they're not gonna be able to cover. And then again, grab that extension so you're not thinning out your own fine hair. And then you are going to texturize. Do you notice that as soon as you texturize, the hair looks real? Before texturizing, the hair can look a little bit wiggy. As soon as you start adding texture in there by point cutting, the hair starts to shatter and then it looks much more real. And let's release the top and see if that's enough. Now, when it comes to the other side, you can do the exact same thing to fill in any of these holes. Now, I'm not going to add hair on this side, and the reason is because I never wear my hair like this. I always tuck this hair back, and I like the density that I have on this side. This is why you really have to think about how you're customizing your hair when you are doing things like extensions. You don't just want to cookie cutter it for everyone. If you're a stylist, you don't just want to place it the same for everyone. If I were to place extensions here, because I always wear it back, it's going to be too dense here and it's going to annoy me. So there is no need for me to add anything here, but I do love the density and the strong baseline on the side that I always wear out of my ear. And here is your after. I'm gonna throw some wave in it now so that you guys can see what it looks like when it is wavy. And there you go, that's what it looks like with a sexy little beach wave. As you can see, all of this has been filled in. The extensions still curl because they're human hair, and I just have a lot more density in this area that I don't have without extensions because my hair is too fine. If you guys enjoyed this video, you may find this one really interesting next. I will see you in a few days. Bye.